Monae. Hendrix, Monae. Shit Talk No Fragrance podcast. Hendrix, Monae. Hendrix, Monae. Shit Talk No Fragrance podcast. Hendrix, Monae. Hendrix, Monae. Shit Talk No Fragrance podcast. Hendrix, Monae. Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Shit Talk No Fragrance, a special episode of Shit Talk No Fragrance. I am your girl, Hendrix Monae, and tonight I am joined by Mr. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself first?
My name's Jeremiah.
Okay, and how old are you, Jeremiah?
I'm 12 years old.
Okay, and next to Jeremiah.
My name is Aaron Lewis,
And you're how old?
14.
And in the back we have...
I'm Moses West, and I am. Oh,
You guys might remember Mo from one of my episodes, season 1, I'm diabetic, I don't sugarcoat episode. And tonight we're going to basically talk about being black in America. This episode, if you've seen it, it is called The Skin That I Am In. So are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, before we get into it, I just want to talk to y'all a little bit about how nervous I have been about creating this particular episode. Nervous because it is such an important topic. And I don't want to mess it up, and I'm having anxiety because I am a black woman in America. I am raising a black boy. He is 7 years old. He looks like he's about 17 because he's so big. And it makes me nervous as a mother, seeing everything that is going on right now with all of the Black Lives Matter protests. So I brought Aaron and Jeremiah with me today because I wanted to talk to them, being that they are teenage black boys right now in America, to see how they are being affected. And I brought Moses with me because I'm not a black man. He is, so he can give them more of the black male perspective right now. So y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay, so Jeremiah, first question, and Aaron, have you guys been paying attention to what's going on in the news right now?
Yes, I have.
You have? Okay, and how are you affected? I know your mom kind of had a conversation with you about it, so you know about George Floyd as well as Ahmaud Arbery. Did you watch the videos?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Okay, and how did they make you feel?
It made me feel angry that we have to go through something like this just because of the difference in our skin and because we have more melanin than other people.
Okay, Jeremiah?
Well, the video made me feel offended and angry because people like that just come out of nowhere and start picking on all these black people just because of the color of their skin, which makes no sense. We all are human. At the end of the day, we all walk on the same streets and we all live in the same air. We all live on the same earth. We all live the same. Yeah.
Okay, and what conversations has your mom had with you about what's going on? Has she given you any advice on, they tell us how to act so that we can not be killed by police or these neighborhood vigilantes? Has your mom had those type of conversations with you? What advice has she given to you?
Well, she's giving us advice on just staying safe, not getting in any trouble to make it seem like we are actually causing some scene. Yeah, it's pretty much the information.
Like, she tell you anything, like, specifically, like, okay, if you see a cop, put your hands here. What?
Other than her telling us to stop hanging around redneck areas and the hood,
Okay.
she was telling us that we need to make sure that we're safe and we're in certain areas that make sure we're around multiple people so people can see where we are and if we're safe and that type of stuff.
Okay, so let me ask you. I personally, as a Black woman, I have not had any of the experiences that I see on the news. I have issues in corporate America, being a Black woman, but I can say I've never been roughed up by a cop. I may have been looked at the wrong way, but I probably don't pay it any attention anyway. But have you, being 14 and 12, have you had an experience with anybody that's of another race, white, whatever, any type of racist experience?
Yes.
Okay, you want to tell me about it?
So at school, in second grade, I'm pretty sure, there was this group of white people, and they would come up to me and they would be like, go back to the cotton fields and make me a shirt and stuff like that. Why are you that dark? Why are you here? You don't deserve to be here and stuff like that.
Second grade.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a mom, and I just kind of got a little upset about that. How did your mama handle that? Because I know your mom's, she kind of like me.
I didn't tell my mom because I know she's going to have an attitude.
Right, I know your mom very well. She's a lot like she might have went and tore the school up.
Yeah.
And you have not told your mom this story? No. So this is the first time that you're talking about it?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mom. If you hear this, don't go back to that second grade school. Don't go try to find those kids. Because I know you. He's telling his story right now. Just relax a little bit, okay? You, Jeremiah, you ever had an experience?
Yes, twice. One in fourth grade. I think it was the same exact year, probably. Well, one, I was at school, and we were just asking, and I was, like, asking for a Sharpie. Of course, a racist comment came after that. They were just like, use your finger or something like that, and I kind of laughed to it, not gonna lie, but that honestly was racist. And there was another one where I was at my baseball field, and there was a racist person, and he was like, go to the back of the line, black boy, or something like that. He was like, I'm racist, so back away from me, and so are my parents, so don't try it. And then I had a conversation with my mom and my aunt and everything.
Okay, so you said second grade and you said fourth grade.
Yes.
Wow. Mo, have you ever had any issues, any stories you want to share?
Not in school, because I didn't go to school with white people.
Yeah. Okay. But outside of that, any?
When I got grown, or even, I mean, like walking home from school and things like that, they'll pull you over for no reason, or just catch you walking from school, and they'll come pat you down and make sure tell you fit the description and stupid stuff like that. But that was always policemen. Like I said, it wasn't a lot of white people in my neighborhood, so I didn't really get to experience white people until I got almost grown.
Okay, so with you experiencing police in school, how did you handle it? How did that make you feel?
Well, as a black man, a black boy, especially if you got a father around, I think, like, you need to have that talk with your son, like around the same time you have the birds and the bees talk, mm-hmm. if not before, because they can't. It's unfair to them to let them walk around blind, mm-hmm. to let them think that, because racism is taught, first of all. So kids don't know no better. They just playing with other kids, and they don't care nothing about what color they are, until they see the difference affecting them, So us, being that we're not around a lot of white people and we don't know how privileged their experience is in comparison to ours, and we'll sit around and think we can do the same stuff that they do. So our parents have to have that talk with us when we're young, like, hey, you can't hang in a big group of boys because they're gonna think you're a troublemaker, that's going to attract cops. They tell you, when you're picking out your first car, don't get that color, don't get that kind of car, because that's a
no Chevy
quote unquote
Caprices,
dope boy car. But they tell you, my dad always told me, he just like, hey, as long as you just make it home, basically. So a lot of time when they come over there, like, we would let them pat us down and so forth, because even though, in retrospect, that's illegal. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't know no better, and I think they knew that we didn't know no better.
Right.
Because when we saw the police, we were pretty much just scared, So, and we knew they shoot people way back then. This ain't nothing new. The difference between now and then is camera phones.
Right.
But this ain't nothing new. This been going on in our neighborhood. Our 21st, they'll beat you up. They'll take your dope. Won't even arrest you and send you on about your way. Like, we already knew we been knew they were crooked a long time ago. So, like, seeing the stuff going on now, I'm not surprised that it's happened. I'm surprised that people are just becoming aware.
Right. With me, like I said, I'm not a black male. And I do know that black women go through the same thing, not as much as black men, but I am a mother to a black boy who is 7 years old, and he has been told for forever that he's super big for his age. Mm-hmm. And it immediately makes me think about Tamir Rice. Mm-hmm. He was 12 years old when he was killed in the park for having a toy gun. Like, no thought at all. The cop just rolled up on him and shot him within 2 seconds of pulling up on him. And the main thing that I saw, and like after he died, was the comments from other people, other races, saying that he was pretty big for his size or whatever. And it scares me because I have a pretty large son. He can't help that he's large. His mom's 5'9", his dad's 6'3", so he's probably going to be bigger than both of us. So I haven't had that conversation with my son about, okay, you're black and this is what comes with being black. So do you have any advice for me as far as like talking to him?
You gotta make him aware of the fact that he is like unconscious is the word, but like not on purpose, but he's automatically intimidating to them. Mm-hmm. He's a big black boy, and it ain't his fault. He might be the sweetest kid in the world. But what they see is big black. And us as a people, we're just naturally bigger than them, stronger than them, faster than them, jump higher than them. So the equalizer they got is their gun, so when they see a big thing, they're not gonna even, they ain't finna get embarrassed. They're not finna get beat up. They're not finna get, they gonna shoot. Right. That's the reality of it. So, I don't know if you would, I don't know what advice I would have for him, but make him aware of how he's seen by them,
It's hard for me because my son is such a friendly kid. Mm-hmm. Like, he wants to play with everybody and he doesn't care. And I actually, I take that back. I've actually been to the park with him. Mm-hmm. And he would go play with the little white kid, and I'll see the dad like come and like move their kid up. Pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, your kid can't come and play in the same sandbox as my kid. But it's just like, that is the reality. And he doesn't understand, okay, well, why did he move his son or daughter? And I'm trying, and I don't know how to have that conversation with him. Like, he's 7. As a 7-year-old, he shouldn't be worried about, okay, well, I'm a black 7-year-old. I'm just a kid and I just want to play. You know what I'm saying?
I think it could possibly boost his self-esteem, He could be like, yo, I'm king of the sandbox and everybody knows it. So it ain't nothing wrong with me that make him keep running. It's that everything is right with me, Mm-hmm. And they, like, I watch Al Pete. He made a post the other day. He was like, "Yo, when I walk in the room, it's like guys just automatically intimidated. But that's that aura. That's that God. That's, you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Some people just got it, and it make other people tense and simmer up. It just some people got it. He might got it. So when they see their little white kid without it around all this godliness, they just have to move him out the way. You know? Mm-hmm. So he need to know that. That's something you need to.
I'm gonna have to sit down and have that conversation. I've really been thinking about having a conversation now with everything that's going on. And what I've been doing recently is I've been pulling like the stories of a lot of Black lives that have been lost due to police. I'm not gonna say brutality, police murders, and police, and these neighborhood watch and all this other stuff that is going on that are unsolved. And let me ask you, boys, have you guys done any research since having a conversation with your mom about all the different cases that have happened?
For me, kind of. Not all of them, obviously, but like the latest ones I've really paid attention to because they have more evidence on that and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you guys know the story of Kendrick Johnson or Trayvon Martin?
I think I've heard the one about Trayvon Martin. Wasn't he the one going to his dad's house?
Right.
Walking to the street and yeah.
And the people iced tea and some Skittles.
Exactly, Arizona Ice. He was the one that was going towards his dad's house and was killed by, and I'm not going to even say the dude's name because he does not deserve to have his name mentioned on my podcast or on this show. But he was killed for basically being in a neighborhood and looking suspicious, basically black while walking.
Yeah. With
some Skittles and Arizona iced tea and a hoodie.
How does that look suspicious?
Good question. I don't have any.
Black looks suspicious. Just yeah.
That's messed up.
Or they get in their mind that everybody looks alike. So if a black person does something in that neighborhood 2 months ago, then they see you, who you look. It could be him, and y'all look nothing alike. But they'll say, 6 foot black. That's the and everybody is 6 foot black or somewhere close to it. You know what I mean? So that's
exactly
fit the description every time.
So, Aaron, you said that you've been researching the latest cases. Which of the latest cases has bothered you the most?
They all of a sudden claimed that because of a person is jogging, that he's going around going to people's houses and stuff like that. And it doesn't make any sense how 2 white people are going to start cleaning stuff when they're over here messing with him and shooting him for no reason at all, just because of his skin. And it doesn't make sense to me.
I actually pulled up some more information about that Ahmaud Arbery case. I find myself, I can't watch the videos or anything like that, but I'll pull up like the case files and all that type of stuff that is dealing with the case. And I found out that one of the guys actually ran him over, hit him with the truck first. And when he was fighting on the video, he was actually already shot. So he was already, fighting for his life. And it was basically, then they shot him again and that, ended it. And the video that was recorded, wasn't it by like somebody that was a part of? Yeah, wasn't the person that recorded it though was like one that was a part of the whole thing?
Yeah, he was calling him the N-word.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Not the guy who recorded it. I think he might have been the person that called the police. I don't know. Whatever the case was, he was there to see it all, mm-hmm. And he was recording, and I guess now he getting the death threats and the mm-hmm. people think he got something to do with it, so he trying to disassociate himself from the whole thing. So he telling it all. He's singing like a bird. He was like, "Yep, they hit him with the truck. They put a gun on them. He
so
chased
that's
them
who
down.
gave that information. Okay.
Yeah, they called him the N-word. They did all that. He ain't holding nothing back now because he realized there's consequences to being not holding your white counterparts accountable."
The thing is, though, about that particular case, it happened it didn't happen. It's not recent. It happened a while ago. Like, he's been buried and everything, and it only came out because I think they were letting everybody see the video, and one person spread the video. I don't think it was the person that recorded it. Now the person that recorded it, it was him. He spread the video. But why did it take so long? Like, that's what kills me about these particular cases. Like, we don't get any type of justice. We still don't even get justice. But we don't get any type of And I'm trying to think of the
You don't
word.
even get an arrest. We don't get nothing when it comes to the thing until we make some noise, and that's why I don't got no beef. I don't got no beef with the protesting. I got no beef
None
with
at
the rioting.
all. None at all.
The looting might be a little too far, but even on that, if that's gonna make them pay attention, go get your TV.
Speaking of that, speaking of that, for those that are saying that the rioting and all of that stuff is pointless, that is a lie. You see what's going on right now. At first it was just one person arrested for the George Floyd situation, but now, nobody. But then the officer that had his knee on his neck, but now all of them are arrested, basically because people are burning the shit down, pretty much right now. So, and I'm with it. I'm all for it. Riot, do whatever you got to do. I saw a video by one lady, and they were asking her about, the rioting and why are you rioting and burning down your own neighborhoods. And she was basically like, it's not our shit. We don't own no goddamn Target. You know what I'm saying? We don't, burn that shit down. We don't own no Dollar General or whatever. That is them corporate stores and ain't got nothing to do. Ain't none of it black owned. So if you got to burn it down to get your point across, do whatever.
In the white neighborhood.
Well, that's not true. That's not true.
Nah,
that's not true.
Put that joint right there. That's Family Dollar. Family Dollar be right there in the hood.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You can find a Dollar General out of Oak Leaf and all that type of stuff, but this is another day. But
you can find 12 of them on Lim Turner.
You're right. You are. So and Family Dollars, they like right next to each other and all that. You are so right. But I also have with me today an officer. I call him Ossifer, but that's my cousin, so I can mess with him. So, Officer Riley, I kind of want to speak with you because I want to get the officer's point of view. He's my cousin. I'm black, so he's black. He's gonna come in and talk, being a black officer, and his experience. And are you a little conflicted, cousin?
Not conflicted, no, not at all, no.
So what is it like though, being a black officer, with all of this stuff going on? How are you handling it? You see us going out here and we're rioting and all of that, and you want to like go out there and riot with us, or does the badge come before your skin color?
I wouldn't say it comes before my skin color. A lot of stuff that Moses West said, I actually totally agree with, because I came and I know where he comes from. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a confliction or anything like that. But I have dealt with both ends of the spectrum. Even with the intimidation thing that Moses was saying, with me being an officer in Jacksonville and now being a federal officer, and me being a field training officer before, I had a conversation with a lot of younger white officers. And the conversation was, because they thought I was their age. I mean, they're young. They're under 25, young officers, go-getters, just want to do what they want to do. And they want to hang with me, go out with me and stuff like that. And one of the conversations I had with them was like, and it's actually one of their younger officers that they with. It was like, if I get pulled over, y'all know me. Y'all see my persona, my way I live, the way I look, the way I talk, the way I interact with people, urban. Y'all want to hang with me. Y'all love my culture. But if an officer on the outside was to pull me over and pull one of the younger officers that they really, a lot of white officers despise of, pulled him over, and he was a 5'7", 5'8", little white guy, whatever, who would they be more intimidated by? They was like, probably you. And they was like, that bug popped in the head. I like, well, who? Because dude was crazy as fuck. They were like, who would be the one that held a shootout with the police officer? They were like, that little 5'7", 5'8" white guy. They were like, because we know he's like out there crazy, like, but that if a bunch of white officers was to pull him over, come to his car, they meter will automatically go zero. Like, oh, he's not intimidated like that. But with me, they on high alert. And the same thing with Mr. Floyd. I had a conversation. It was the same day with another young federal white officer that day. The same day before everybody started seeing the videos and stuff like that. And he was a white guy. He got pulled over out there in Texas, and they pulled a gun on him on a speeding ticket. And he talked to me, and I listened. And he was like, I was scared. I was in fear of my life. So racism does exist, but it's more of, go back to say what Moses was saying, the intimidation factor. And the guy that got pulled over, he was in uniform, federal uniform and all that stuff. He got pulled over and he talked to me. He called me. It was like I was afraid for my life or whatever. They pulled the gun on me on a traffic stop. And then I let him vent. I let him talk and all that stuff. And then I kind of like say, imagine that was me. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily saying it was me, but I was saying like people that's not a law enforcement agent. And he was like, that's the reason I called you. He was like, I can't believe that I'm in uniform. And we called the guy that got pulled over Captain America. And he was like, I can't believe they did that to me. I can only imagine what they did that to y'all.
Right. So I've seen a lot of the protest video, and I've seen, even with, the reason why we're protesting, I see a lot of officers still out there throwing people on the ground, putting their knees on their neck. I actually saw a video where the crowd was screaming for an officer to get his knee off of another person, one of the protesters' neck, and the officer that was with him had to push his leg off of the guy's neck for him to realize, okay, you're doing the same thing that was just in that George Floyd video. So is that like a part of y'all training? Like, is that the first thing that y'all go to, put your knee on their necks? Or is it, it's a what?
Tradition.
No, I don't think, no. I mean, I only can speak from my perspective. No training I have ever been to with Mr. Floor or the guy in New York, Eric Garner. Like, yeah. When I was in Jiceville, like the chokehold, that's prohibited. So that wasn't part of our training. And me being federal, the knee on the neck is not part of our training. So I don't know. Everybody's training is totally different from even the stuff that I did kind of read and learn that actually in Minnesota that is kind of part of their training. But no, I know put the knees in the small of your back while you handcuffed and stuff like that is something that we have been, but not the neck stuff like that. So every place, every state, every region's kind of differently, but I know the agencies that I have worked for, both agencies I have worked for, chokeholds and stuff dealing with the neck is prohibited. So
okay, so what is a part of your training? I do know, I see a lot of videos too, they just shoot. Person hands up, they light them up with 40 bullets. Like, are you guys trained to shoot to injure or shoot to kill?
Shoot to stop the threat.
Okay, so hands up, no weapon, and y'all are trained to shoot to stop the threat. Yes. But the person is getting shot up 40 times.
I mean, the gun doesn't hold 40 bullets. I mean, if you have multiple people.
I mean, multiple people is usually about three.
You don't tell them like stop this because you're just trying to stop the threat. But
so stop the threat by any means necessary, like
Ending
stop the threat.
Person's life.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of hard, like just to shoot in the leg and the arm or something.
Well, how hard is it to aim down?
No, that's hard. It's hard.
It's hard to aim down. Interesting. I mean, I just got an officer's perspective. I don't know. I think I can aim down. You
probably gonna miss.
I mean, I don't mind missing instead of me shooting them in the head and the chest, and
No,
they
we
have
don't
no.
shoot. But again, that used to be part of the training. It used to be 2 to the chest, 1, but they cut that out though. But they want you to stop the threat in a mass body part, and the biggest part of the body is, because it's hard to shoot in a leg or the stuff that you see on TV is not realistic. Shooting a leg or a tire and all that stuff, it's not gonna happen. Shooting somebody center mass is hard enough to shoot somebody in a lower body part.
Okay, but you're saying stop the threat. I don't think that a person without a weapon with their hands.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just
walking
saying
towards you.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I say, every situation is kind of different. You know what I'm saying? But with someone with no weapon and stuff like that, no, they shouldn't be shot at all. So I'm not saying for your particular situation that you're saying, like if that person is got something going on, or if you think that you may have to, yes, the first thing. It's not even a law enforcement thing. If you go to a gun safety training, that's what they're gonna tell you to shoot at. So that's just basic training throughout gun shooting.
Okay, so let me ask you this: being an officer, can you give the boys some advice to what to do if they encounter an officer, a trigger happy, intimidated ass officer? What they can do to possibly make it home, and I say possibly make it home to their mom.
What I would tell the boys, officers, white officers, black officers, Asian officers, everybody has again, what I say, what most say, a pre-perception of what you are and what you is. And everybody does have a privilege, a white privilege, a black privilege, or blue lives privilege. I have never really had to worry about me being shot by an officer. But I have had to deal with officers that didn't believe I was an officer. Again, the same thing I was saying in the story earlier, but the way I look and the way I act. So it's a little bit hard. I have to explain to them, like, hey, I'm not saying I'm one of y'all, but actually I'm kind of higher up than y'all, and they giving me the run around, like, because I don't have to worry about getting the ticket and stuff like that or stuff like that, but I just have to explain to them, like, why are y'all targeting me because I look like I look?
And, you need a few, sir.
Why y'all talking to me? Because the way I look and the way I act, because I am from the urban area. I am from out east and stuff like that, but the way I look, they will second guess, because the same conversation I was saying about the white guy that actually got a gun pulled on him. I have never got a gun pulled on me by any officer as well. And he talked to me about it. He asked me, like, has anything happened like that to me? I was like, yeah, it did happen to me. Actually, just transferring out to Texas, they pulled me over. They wanted to see my credentials. They was like all expired. I had my pistol like on the front seat. They didn't really care about that. They just didn't think I was who I was. So, and they wanted to search the car. Yeah, they wanted to search the car. They had me on the side of the road for an hour and a half. And after that, they just let me go. And even me and him talked about the white guy that got gun pulled on. He was like, he said they probably didn't believe you who you were. And I know that. Like, and that was a racist moment. Like, I know they didn't know who I was just because the way I look, the way my hair is, and just so.
Let me say this to you. I love you, but I know you probably be like, I scream fuck the police all the time. I'm not necessarily talking about you, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, it's hard to not be like that. We know that there are some good cops out there, but we kind of want these good cops to speak up. and intervene in some of these situations. I saw one video and it was a black woman, and black women, I love you, because I feel like we're gonna be the one to make the change. We're gonna be the one to correct some shit. But it was a black officer. She came and she checked this white officer who was messing with these protesters in the crowd, and she got on him, she screamed on him in the crowd. She basically told him to get the fuck on and get the fuck up out of there. So we need more of those type of officers instead of those that sit around knowing it's wrong. And you say you're a good officer. We say that there are good officers out there, but you're not speaking up and doing anything. Do y'all have never mind. Don't answer this question. I'm not even going to ask. I was about to ask you if y'all have a code, but I don't want you to get in trouble. Keep your job, boo. Stay over there.
I do want to say that, but what you just saying is actually correct. And it's not even just in the law enforcement agent, it's society as well. And so with the people, the white people that's speaking up now, because I had another situation. Actually, one of my biggest racist interaction I actually had was at the Jaguar game.
Yeah.
I sat down low,
right,
and these people bought some tickets. They was actually in the wrong area. The white guy with his young white female lady or whatever wanted to see my tickets, like, oh, you in the wrong spot. And then and what you kind of saying with the black female officer, and that's what's kind of going on with, we want the other white people to speak on our behalf, because I was in that section for years.
Yeah.
And all the white people was hearing this white guy talk to me crazy, like, I need to see your ticket. Like, basically, like, you don't have enough money to sit down here.
Let me ask you this: was this white guy a part of the Jaguars facility, or was he just this random?
No, he was just a random guy. He was just a random guy that bought
a Brad.
Yeah, for
a Brad.
Yeah, bought some tickets that particular game, and he was actually in the wrong section. He was like, "Oh, y'all in the wrong seat. Y'all in the wrong seat." And then, like, the white people heard that, and they spoke up on my behalf. And I kind of me being a black male and a law enforcement officer, I automatically went back at him. But all the other white people in that section they went back at him, and they was like, matter of fact, he owned all these seats down here. And they the one, you know what I'm saying, like, they gonna call security. They be like, but he owns seat 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He owned all these seats. So, and that's kind of what we need right now as the community. We need the privilege, the people to stand up for us as well. Because I stood up for myself because where I grew up and all that stuff. But to see these people stood by my back, you know what I'm saying, and like, get out of here, fuck you, get out of here. They drunk and all that. Like he owns all these seats. Like, just so that was one of my biggest racist things I had actually really felt, and it was actually at a game with a guy that I never really met. So
yeah, I actually agree with that, because I'm seeing that now we have Germany protesting, you got Paris protesting, and I've heard things about Paris, like, they kind of iffy with the black people, but they're out there protesting. So many different countries and cities are protesting. I never knew that Minneapolis would be the one to set the shit off. Because I honestly thought that Prince was like the only black person in Minneapolis, honestly. But they are the ones that actually set the shit off. I didn't know it was out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is what we're going to do. But we are seeing now that we have more of the other races, white people and other races, that are jumping on the front lines and are locking their arms and covering the black protesters so that they can, get their points across and not be tear gassed and maced by the police. They're on the front lines a lot, is from what I'm saying. And I think that's what's going to cause a possible change, is that they are now getting sick of it as well. So, right. So I have some more questions. I have Mr. Alpy, you going to come on and jump on with me? Come on in, because you and I had a conversation, and I want to talk to you. Thank you, Officer Riley. Officer. Boys, feel free if you have any questions that you want to ask Officer Riley, you want to ask LP, you want to ask Mo. If y'all want to get deeper into the conversation, we can. about what's going deeper. We can absolutely get deeper into the conversation. If you have any questions, jump in. This is interesting. I'm glad. So, everybody, this is Mr. Al Pete. He's been on about 87 episodes.
Oh shit! 92.
Oh shit! Talk. You know, 92. He is the man behind the scenes, the man that started the Mr. Peterson Neighborhood, the Neighborhood Podcast Network. He's responsible for my intro. What else you done did? Just everything. The edit, the engineering, just all. Go ahead.
Listen, I raise dogs. I do it all.
He do it all.
I cook salmon, not salmon, salmon.
He said it the right way. He did not add that L. Okay.
Yeah, I do all that, man. But yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted Mr. Al Pete to come in to kind of speak on being a black man in corporate America, like your experiences.
Okay. So we have conversations a lot, me and Hendrix. Oh Lord, my volume is like it's too stupid high on number one. I hear it all the way over here. But sorry about that. So corporate. So this is small past story, I guess. Like I grew up, around all black people. So black. I went to black HBCU. I went to Savannah State for a minute, but then when I moved back home to take care of my kid, I got a corporate job. So that's when I really started like finding out about. That was like my first experiences when it came to like racism and stuff like that. So it was, to me, I felt like it was like a hidden type of thing. I didn't understand what it was. I felt like I had to like have all these accolades to do like a simple job, but it was just more of a placement and like a class type of racism, if that makes sense. It wasn't necessarily like a blatant. Well, I mean, in a nutshell, it would be blatant. Because it's black, you know what I'm saying? Like, you black, I'm white, whatever the case may be. But it was just more disguised, if that makes sense. It was more so like, okay, well, you don't fit these qualities and stuff like this and the third. But it was really getting their homeboys on. And then they just was like, just like Mo said earlier, it was a whole intimidation. I think when they realized that we have like a lot of education and a lot of understanding on how things work, and we just have that aura about us, then we'll be over them, basically. So, but it's more disguised. It's not blatant like somebody saying, "Hey, nigga," you in the street. It's really disguised in the corporate action, and it go down like 10 times deeper and worse in corporate.
Yeah.
Hence why, like right now, the whole like defunding of police officers is such a big deal. That's why voting is such a big deal. Like all these things start like in the admin aspect of the world. Does that make sense, fellas? Does it make sense? So like, it don't necessarily have to be a guy coming to you and saying, and just treating you blatantly like, okay, you're better than us, or you're like, simply you're black or whatever. It can be, racism is like, it comes in like all different kind of ways, especially when it comes to the, to a black male being in the corporate aspect of it. Yeah.
Can I say this real quick? When you're speaking of the black male being in the corporate aspect, you guys, you have the name of Jeremiah, you have the name of Aaron. When they look at your resumes, you guys might be a little bit safe. Your resume won't automatically be put to the side because of your names, as opposed to somebody that probably has a name like a Daquan or a Keisha. Or I have Crystal, so my real name, people. I have Crystal, so my resume might get a little bit looked at a little bit before Akeisha because of my name.
And I actually thought that was like the wildest thing ever. Like I remember looking for jobs like years ago, and people would be like, "Man, I had to like lie, I had to put a different name on the application, or not even mark that I'm black." You know what I'm saying? Wow. Just so I can get in the door. And then when I get in the door, they can't deny me from like the skills that I have and this, that, and the third, and they'll go and prove themselves, and then it's almost like the other person, in this case the white person, would be like, I have no choice but to keep him. Now you told me your name was Stacy, but your real name is so but like you're really killing this job. So then that's when the mentalities switch and be like, okay, cool, we're gonna use those mentalities and be like, all right, well, we gonna kind of make you like this working horse, because they know who really get down. They know we hustlers, we natural born hustlers when it come to that. So the inferior of that you know what I'm saying, it can switch at any time. So they'll be like, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna give you this job, and then you up there with these people, and then they turn around and just at the end of the day they like basically using you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really kind of like understand how that works. You know what I'm saying? But you have to use it for your advantage as well. And I know for me, I go into situations. This might be kind of hard to say, but I go in it in a humanity aspect. I go in it with an open mind. Like, I try not to think that when I'm around somebody else that they're looking at me because I'm a black person. But I notice with all the situations going on now, like how much I like hold a lot of shit in. Like, I didn't realize how much like I keep a lot of this shit in me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to cuss in front of y'all boys, but yeah. But like I hold a lot of stuff in. Like, you know, it's that mask. We put that mask on. We're like, all right, cool, everything's gonna be great. But sometimes I walk out and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get pulled over by this person. You know what I'm saying? This white person, and they treat me the same way Eric Garner did. Trayvon Martin, you know what I'm saying? The boy in Jackson. There's so many. The one that touched me really, really hard was old boy from here in Jacksonville.
He went to school. D'Angelo?
No, who? Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis.
The music. Blasting, and I blast my music like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I still go to that gay gas station, and every time I go there,
it's eerie.
That is my thought.
It's eerie.
That baby died there because his music was too loud. And some white person felt like he can take his life because he didn't turn it down. He didn't listen to him. Right. Thankfully, that mofo is in jail. He did get his time for it, but a lot of them get off. A lot of them get off. Yeah. Off, you know, just whatever, you know, a technicality. And what I've also, something that pisses me off about a lot of these cases is that the black victim is always demonized. Yeah. Like, they're pulling up everything. You as a 2-year-old, you threw a block and hit the other 2-year-old in the face. I mean, pulling up everything to try to justify why it is okay that you were gunned down in the street like just some trash. And left on the street. They don't pick you up right away. Yeah. They leave you on the street for 12 hours, Michael Brown. And then get so that everybody can walk by and see you. Yeah. And then, you know, just to make an example out of you, like, yes, I did this. Yeah. And to flip it back to the corporate action of it, like, these are the same things they'll do, but they'll do it in a corporate level. They'll be like, well, you're not qualified because you don't have no degree, or you was on a write up for 90 days 3 years ago, so we're gonna bring that up. And it's like they bring all these things back up the same way they do it when, you know, these when they're in trial and they tell us that we're thugs and we was out hanging out later, we had goals in our mouth, we had dreads and stuff like that. They would do that same stuff in corporate too, you know what I'm saying, just to say, okay, well, we're not gonna put you in this level, you know what I'm saying. So it comes in different ways. So understand that, fellas, when it, you know, when you go and get jobs, or even when you're in school and stuff like that, and you striving to get like that award, like that best student award, or whatever the case may be, you might get faced with those things, and it will be a form of racism. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want y'all to think, you know, a little bit, just a tad deeper when it comes to that. Like, race can come in any kind of ways. It can be covered up. It can be like blatant, but as long as you know who y'all are, you know what I'm saying? Like, know thyself. But at the same time, too, show love and respect for everybody that's around you. Even the ones that hate us. It's hard. It's difficult. I'm on the other side of the fence with that.
I know. And that's why. And that's why these things are difficult to me when I speak on it, because, like, I come from a place of, like I said, humanity. Like, I think about my grandma. Like, my grandma ain't care about who you was, you know, whatever you did. You might have stole 50 million times with her. She always opened up that door. Now, granted, I know how to protect my heart and understand that stuff. But from, like, I just take that from my grandma when it comes to that. But at the same time, too, I'm not, I don't, you know, I'm not like shying away from the blatant stuff.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the flip side. I feel like we as black people are too freaking forgiving. We always, well, I'll pray for you and I'm gonna pray for your family. And while we praying, they praying with us and shooting us up in the church after they finish praying with us. I'm completely on the opposite of that. Like, okay, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. And I can honestly say, like, it's hard for me looking at all of these cases and seeing what's going on. It kind of has tainted me because I'm a pretty nice person. I like people, but it has tainted me to the point to where I look at a white person now and I'm like, do you have an issue with me? Like, I'm one of those people, and I hate to say it this way as well. Like, they be like, oh, I'm not racist. I have one white friend. I have about one white friend. So, and I don't want to be that way, but I have actually had conversations with him to know that he is 100% with us. He rocks with the Black Lives Matter. And you know what I'm saying? He ain't with all that Trump stuff. He thinks he's the fucking idiot. Like, we have these types of conversations, but it's hard for me to not be tainted by everything that I see. You know what I'm saying? And to have a son, I'm super overprotective of my son because of the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to corporate America, just to bring it back there, my experience with corporate America, I work for an agency. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want nobody asking me no questions about nothing. Leave me alone, okay? If you ain't paying your fare, I don't want to talk about it,
they
okay?
They be your deal.
They do, and I'll be like, hey, cash at me, right. Then we can talk, okay? But I work for an agency to where I've been trained on 15, 20 different topics. There is this other person in the office, white girl, might have been trained on maybe as much as me. I get into a position of authority, supervisor position, and she felt like she should have been in that particular position. So I had to deal with her being this asshole to me, being in that particular position, supervisor position.
This is the word we talked about this, right?
Yeah,
okay, cool,
we did.
Right.
I had to deal with her being this asshole. No, you're talking about the girl in the training class. Oh yeah, no, I had to get her.
Before that.
Oh,
I think it was one of the. It was
it's a couple of them bitches.
I'm about to say it's a couple of them.
Excuse me, babies. I'm sorry. Don't tell your mama.
She probably watching.
She might be. I'm sorry. But so they gonna come and gonna curse her. But I had to deal with being a black woman. We're automatically considered the angry black woman. She has an attitude and all that type of stuff. And I'm far from that. I'm super friendly. I'm super goofy. But in my office, if I were to give her the same response that she was given to me, I would automatically get that, oh, she's angry, she got an attitude, she's on her Keisha Wanaka stuff, and get reprimanded. So I have had to go to higher ups to deal with her just so I won't have any issues. All because this white girl feels like I should have that position, even though you're nowhere near as good at your job as I am. Like, nowhere. I've had to deal with that type of shit in the corporate America. Right. People feeling like they should be in my position because not because of their expertise, but because, bitch, I'm white. Because of
privilege. Yeah,
because of privilege.
Yeah,
that's the extent of my issues dealing with the privilege in the corporate America. I haven't had like the job denials or anything like that because of my name or been told I'm overqualified or underqualified. I haven't had the issue. I've been with my job now for 13, 14 years. So I haven't, moved out to anything else. I've just moved up within that particular company. But I've experienced racism in kind of all of the scenarios, but like job wise, that's been my main thing. And I think why now I understand like why they rioting and why they protesting. Absolutely. Like, I'm like, and I hate saying I told you, but it's almost like, well, we told y'all, we've been screaming forever. I'm tired.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even with them taking the statue down, like in my mind, I was like, all right, that's cool. That's great. But it's like a lot, it's like we're not done yet. Like I need this to continue. And I feel like the side that I'm gonna stand on it when everybody kind of calm down, when everybody not angry no more, and then they like, all right, well, we're gonna go back to our normal lives or whatever. I'm still gonna be like exercising those things. It might not be big, But I try to show a lot of the privileged side. You know what I'm saying? I give a lot of privilege to the people who I'm connected with when it comes to black women, when it comes to my black men. I mean, if it's other people that I'm cool with, that's cool. But like, I've been doing stuff like this, and that's only because I see it from a corporate side. Because I know what I like. I know how it felt being looked at as a black man, and my name Wayne. So Wayne easily gets in there. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I get in there, for some reason I have this aura, just like Mo said, I have this like rapper guy aura. Mm-hmm. As soon as they find out that I'm a rapper or a DJ, then that's when the levels get down to me being black, right? And of me being like in that place, and then they're like, well, when the next party is, oh well, you don't need this job because you can just DJ, like stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you see what I'm saying, fellas? Like, it comes in different ways. Like, it comes in various ways. Not saying that it don't come in. It come in all ways. So my main advice to y'all, just kind of understand that it can come in various ways, and just be mindful of it and just act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't back down. Keep doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a great worker, like, keep working. Like, work times 10. You know what I'm saying? And show them niggas, like, show people like what the business is. Like, I work. I pride off work. So it's a lot of people, a lot of white people, a lot of black people I don't work with around here because they feel this threat when it comes to Alpede. But I work my ass off, and I'm gonna keep showing I'm gonna work off. You know what I'm saying? So if you had that mentality, and I feel like that doesn't necessarily have to have a color action to it. That's just being a man and being a humanity. But when it gets down to the black aspect of it, yeah, that's hustler mentality right there. You gotta just work, and just show them. And I guarantee you somebody's watching. They might not tell you right off bat instantly, but somebody watching, and they're gonna honor that.
You know what though? Also, with you being black, you have to work twice as hard to get to their level of mediocrity. I feel like a lot of y'all are just gonna have to deal with these true thoughts right now and how I feel about the situation.
That's straight up. That's honestly like straight up.
I've seen some super great ass black people in the same position as a mediocre ass white person, and I'm just like, why? And you had to work 50 times as hard to get to that mediocre ass level. Right. And I don't feel like it's right. You know what I'm saying? It's like they get handed to them just because of their skin. But let me tell y'all this. I don't know if you guys, you have the colorism talks, the dark skin, the light skin, and all that type of stuff. Can I tell y'all this? It doesn't matter. All black is beautiful. Okay? We make our little jokes. I know I crack my little jokes too. Say stuff is a little light bright, or, you acting a little dark skinned, did this, you know what I'm saying? But, I love all complexions. All black is beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you any different. If you get in these schools and they're picking on you for being one complexion or the other complexion, realize that you are beautiful, okay? Y'all have these issues, the dark skin and light skin. Y'all don't have these conversations. Okay, so it's just us older people that be going through these changes.
I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but I feel like y'all generation, and I feel like y'all generation are going to be like part of the reason why a lot of things open up and racism actually like dies. And it might not die. When it comes to certain things, I feel like a lot of y'all are like more open. Like a lot of more open-minded when it comes to things, like versus like us and where we come from, especially like our parents and let alone our grandparents. Right. They're very strict on that stuff. So I feel like the simplicity of y'all and y'all openness and y'all coolness will be a small addition to like it kind of like fading away out of the blue. No. Exactly. Prime.
With no issues.
No. Listen, to my people that's watching, I have lifted up that rule because listen, we're going through like quarantine times, and when it's time to walk out the house, fashion literacy ain't happening right now. It's just like I got to go to the store and I got to go back. So if you throw on Nikes with Adidas socks, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine because I understand too. But but honestly, while we laughing about that, like that's actual facts. Like that's actual facts. The fact that they like, look, I'm not looking at this brand. I'm looking at the fact of how this look. It's a different way to how they looking at things. And it's so funny. But it's like I guarantee you, it'll be funny as all outdoors if like a white man, a prestige white man, looks at a black man and be like, he got on Vans with Adidas. Maybe I can do that. And then he go and tell his community, and it just changed. It could change like their whole mentality. It could. It could possibly have that. We child, like these kids respectfully don't care. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not mad at them.
And I'm not mad at that, but I feel like, but I need y'all to like understand that y'all do have a lot of power and a lot of the change that could happen in this world, and it could simply be just wearing Adidas with Vans. It could possibly be that. To me, I feel like that's a strong possibility.
Like Whitney Houston said, he believed the children are the future. Y'all the
Teach
future.
them where
And let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
I wish I had
sexual chocolate.
I wish I had my saxophone.
That was Whitney version, but you know, sexual chocolate. But yes, basically, you guys are going to be the future because y'all don't really care about too much. Y'all are just like, hey, you are you, I am me, you know, and that's what it is. So what I've been doing, I don't know if you guys saw my page. I made a post about Hendrix Johnson. I don't know if you guys remember that case where in Georgia, the kid was found rolled up in the mat and they closed the case. Right. So they said that it was accidental, said that he was trying to crawl in and get his tennis shoes. But didn't make sense because the tennis shoes were by his feet. The mat was wrapped around him pretty tight. Saying that it was an accident. The case has been closed. But I made a post about it that I did not expect to pop the way that it did. Like, went super duper viral. I had to block a few white people. First, I had to go off on them and then block them. I had to say what the hell I said and then make sure they saw my message. Then block their asses. But I had to. Yes, I had to because they were coming at me like, you know, y'all are a bunch of idiots and the case is this and he did do that. And it's like anything to just say whatever. You know what I'm saying? Huh? They did. They took his organs, all of that stuff. There were 2 other independent autopsies basically that said that blunt force trauma, you know, killed the baby. But, you know, no case reopened because apparently there's some sort of law enforcement involvement in the kid that may have done it, like FBI or something like that. So the case has been closed. So what I've been doing is I've been posting a lot of petitions on my page, on my Facebook page, Hendrix Monae. You can find me. It's public, whatever. And find these petitions, sign them so that we can get a lot of these unresolved cases start reopened, like the Hendrix Johnson case, the Breonna Taylor. Her killers have not been arrested at all. She was laying in her bed asleep. So when they tell us, okay, you supposed to act a certain way, what am I supposed to do while I'm sleeping? You come in, kick in my door and shoot me up. And then arrest my boyfriend for shooting one of y'all because somebody just kicked in the door. He was released, but still, they still arrested him because he shot one of the cops. So I have all of these petitions on my page. Find me on Facebook, Hendrix Monae. Sign these petitions so that we can get these cases reopened and looked at again. While everything is going on right now, the Black Lives Matter, the protests, the actions that are being taken, so that we can get some action taken on these other cases. Tiana Jefferson, Sandra Bland. Yeah. I saw a video from her. I ended up watching and reposting a video where she used to actually talk about this type of stuff and ended up dead. Sandra Bland, a few other cases, but yes, come through, find my page. And
I mean, even with Trayvon, man.
Oh gosh.
Trayvon Martin, man.
That one right there. He did. He keeps going to jail for different things. Keeps going to jail. A man actually shot at him. A white guy shot at him and missed. Damn it. And now that man is in jail for missing, basically. You know what I'm saying? But he keeps going to jail.
they overcharged him, if they would charge him with something lower, he would be in prison right now.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I don't think so.
And
Because
our former state attorney, Andrew Court, she's known for overcharging people. That's what she did with actually black community. And she overcharged him. So since she overcharged him, that's the reason he kind of got off.
And I think that's why a lot of people was were.
And I said that when she upgraded those charges, he's gonna go free. But if the charges was that they initially did, yeah, he will be in prison.
let me tell you why I don't think so. I feel like the prosecutor took it as a joke. You quoting A Time to Kill. No, the guy. It was a guy that was talking. Angela Corey wasn't actually on the prosecution team. It was a guy. He ended up quoting A Time to Kill, talking about, now imagine if that child was white. I felt like they took it as a joke. Why are you quoting a damn movie at a trial? You are not Matthew McConaughey. This is not a script. We don't know how it's going to end. You had no business doing that. So I don't think that he would have gotten off because they didn't really take it seriously.
But I think
I professionally think he would have got charged. I think he would be in prison. I think he would have been, but I do think they overcharged him because they charged premeditated. Like,
Gotcha.
and with being premeditated, it's like, okay, I planned this.
Right.
I woke up this morning. I got a plan. I'm gonna do this. It's calculated,
Right.
and that's kind of what happened with him.
yeah, and I think that's why people worried about the trial going, the degree going up from third to second for the boys at George Floyd.
Because also, I know y'all said I'm an officer.
It's hard to prove that.
Because I don't believe officers gonna wake up every day, every morning, like, oh, I'm gonna kill somebody. Like, no, they're not. They're not thinking that.
I don't know, man. Listen, I just finished listening to a podcast.
They would be, but again, like, stuff kind of. I don't believe they're waking up.
Listen, I just finished listening. I got to send it to you.
Please.
The murder. And I listened to that story, and of course it's nowhere near what's going on right now. But the guy that did the killing, that stuff was premeditated. Like, he was waking up every day, like, I got to do something.
Definitely that thing. I don't know if his wife cheating on him or what, but he was.
But I feel like a lot of situations get like that. So that's why I don't know the whole premeditated part is funny to me.
The Constitution and the law and all of that stuff, like, it's a calculated, like, thinking
I
about
thought he seen the opportunity.
They knew each other.
Way to know what you're gonna do to do this and do this and do this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get
But seeing
you for the last weeks or so.
But seeing the opportunity, like you said, he saw the opportunity. Like, seeing the opportunity don't take 2 or 3 days. You can see an opportunity in like 2 seconds.
Seen Big George Floyd, big black man, he doing the porn.
It was Dick Envy. It was Dick Envy.
3 officers
That's what it
already
was,
holding
Dick
him
Envy.
down. This is my opportunity. You see what I'm saying? Nobody, because I watched that video. I woke up that morning that I guess the next day that it happened.
I think I seen
it was
say that.
it was already on my.
What is this shit? I ain't took the phone.
And he can't turn it off.
It's listening.
We got a special officer.
That's the mess.
I'm gonna call him officer because he can't turn his officer.
So I saw it the next morning, and I was like, "Wow, this is blatant." Because see, sometimes you could be in a moment of rage, right, and you could do something magnificently stupid. I do stupid stuff all the time. He on this man's neck, but you ain't in no moment of rage because, first of all, this took a long time to happen, and there are people talking to you, saying you're on the man's neck. He can't go nowhere. He's restrained. He's knocked out. You can get off of him. You made a conscious choice at that point to say, I'm going to stay and make sure he's dead.
Premeditated.
And then now,
To me, that's premeditated.
definitely premeditated.
Yeah.
Or even if it wasn't premeditated at the moment they told you that, and you stayed 5 more minutes, it's definitely premeditated.
That's
at this point.
premeditated.
You know?
Yeah.
Because he alive when they telling him get up. The man telling you I can't breathe him, he passing out, you know. You can get up off him now. There's still 3 other officers here holding him down. You still got somebody protecting you from. Because I thought to myself when I watched
protection.
it.
His hands were
But
covered.
see, that's
behind
a-
him.
The 3 other officers in the.
I actually agree with all that as well because, like, I know from their region, their area, they said it's part of their policy as well. But yeah, he was fully restrained. Like
There's nothing he could do.
he was fully restrained. Like it's no reason y'all
Wasn't even conscious.
There's no reason that particular officer that has the biggest charge did what he did.
He got his hands in his pocket.
And just
How do you
looking
feel
like.
threatened with your hands in your pocket?
But also, his hands wasn't in his pocket. He had black gloves on. His hands was on his lap though. That's
Nah, it look like in his
They was
pocket.
in his pocket.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and
Yeah,
look at that. It look like the pockets.
No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't his pocket. It was on his lap, and maybe he been pressing down or not. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying I'm on either side, but his hand, he had black gloves.
Pick a side, sir.
And he could have been pressing down. on
Either
his
with
hand.
us or against
What
us.
the same thing? What you saying about his hands in the pocket? I mean,
I
But
think
see,
they
even
were in
with
his
that,
pocket.
okay.
I think they was in his pocket. From everything that I've seen and read, they've been in his pocket.
yeah, it really
And
don't
that's
Yeah.
matter.
when I saw
But
the
again,
video.
it really don't even matter if his hands in the pocket is a man on his thigh, because he still can be doing the same thing with his hands on his thigh with his hands on his pocket. What you saying?
So even
So it really don't even matter.
I was thinking to myself, I would have squirmed. He would have got up off my neck if that was me. But I had no clue. It's 3 other. That make it totally murder.
but see with all that being said,
And you're right. That's why I say. But I also think, you know what I'm saying, what Minnesota said. They say the justice system is kind of like Florida, so we can't do first. I'm glad they didn't do first.
Yeah, because he
But
might get off first.
but the second and third,
Yeah.
they kind of did the same thing.
but he's still being on second. Okay, so with all
second and third, so
I get that, but I get that. With all that being said, what you said, and what Mo said, which I totally respect. We need somebody to go in there and change the way the laws are being looked at as what being is. But see, a lot of people not thinking that way. Like a lot of people just like, well, and then after
the entire system.
right. But we need somebody up there to do it. I don't feel like a lot of us are like thinking in that regards, and I'm not, and it's not our place to really do that. Now, all that be fine and dandy, but I'm like, okay, let's find a black person to get up in there and prove to these people to do that, and and see that's where the problem at. But we gotta find a way to fight that. We gotta.
I ain't gonna do it.
What you mean?
No, I was finna say something, but I'm chill.
no.
Say it.
Well,
Say
I mean,
it.
we need to call the cameras.
Right, and the
I
mic.
say that once the cameras go off.
Okay. Well, that's why I feel like with me, my first love, you know, is law. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ass on back to school and finish doing what I got to do to see if I can get within there some sort of way, like not a police officer, because I can't do that. Can't be out on the streets. I'd be around here fighting the police officers. So seeing some dumb shit. So, but yeah.
Hey,
so
don't fight the
agree.
police officer.
Don't fight the police
Don't
officer.
fight.
No, don't do that. I'm just saying, if I were an officer, I couldn't be an officer of a friend. Like, no. I can't be on the line seeing an officer doing no dumb shit. I would be that black lady that you see going viral, cussing them out. That's me. So
I got it.
yes. But anywho, I can't do it. So
I just look at a lot of stuff like I look at it like always, but I do have a way that I don't feel like most black people would like, I guess, kind of respect or whatever. But it's not saying that I'm against y'all. I just have a different way of looking at things.
we've had Ice Cube. Yeah, Ice Cube seems to be a little on the other side right now. He on my side at the moment.
Ice Cube's going
the way that he's going,
on Twitter, boy.
Ice Cube had his
Shouts out
stuff.
to IceUbe, man. He like 1991 Ice Cube on Twitter right now.
And then
I'm talking
LL
about
Ice Cube right now. LL about to get canceled.
That's kind of fun. Like people like, you know what I'm saying, don't everybody like. I mean, even just like but Ice Cube and Ice T and all that was their thing. But all of them want to be the police. Like when they shows and stuff like that. Like,
Man, that's a different.
That's
see,
a
that's,
dick.
no.
No, I'm not saying that because we talk about the car, like, because even when the conversation when you said about the boys and stuff like that, the conversation my dad had with me, he was like, "Don't get a Capri, don't get that, but don't get a pallet because that's what the police try. Like, why you want to get a fucking police car and have people
Nah, but it's a lot of other cars. Police.
Yeah.
I better say this a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
No, my dad. No, I'm just that was my dad, like, don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? My dad had some same conversation. Like, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. Like, don't. Like, so that's what my dad told me. He was like, don't.
You want to minimize yourself.
And that's not fair. That's that we should have to do that. Like, right.
That's really what you do when you come across them. You just gotta kind of.
You gotta kind of like shrink yourself. I don't understand how me.
Don't want to have the police draw attention to yourself. And my dad actually told me that stuff. Like, don't draw attention to yourself. And then I'm like, all these people, the influential people that I said, like, they do like the stuff like the police. Why y'all like don't?
But see,
let me ask you this question.
Even on the corporate tip, I know for me on the corporate tip, like I got tired of like minimizing myself. Like I got tired of that.
Myself down.
That's why I was just like after, like I'm telling you, like when I was raising my son, a black son, he's 22. Like the whole time I felt like if I even grew an inch of hair, people was gonna look at me like totally different as far as a black or and I'm the custodial parent of like a black man. But I'm like if I grow my hair 2 more inches like long, I'm immediately gonna be looked at as a black person. Way. And I'm like, I got tired of doing that shit. I got tired of telling my son that shit. I got tired of it. I got tired of it. And black people are tired of it.
And what was the black chick? The officer? No, not the officer. Can't think of the
what about her?
The one that went last grow hair and shit.
Oh, Miss Roberts.
Yeah.
Like, how you know?
It's kind of funny. I was the first person in Jackson that had hair. Like you can't go to a fucking grad guy with hair. We couldn't have dreads. We couldn't have braids. You can't have braids.
You gotta change who you are just to make them feel okay.
Going to Andrew Jackson, named after.
Oh God! Right,
crazy.
Big ass statue downtown.
So Miss Robinson, my ex-girlfriend, man, we still friends, stuff like that. I had a little twist in 11th, 12th grade, and I had to hide that to go to grad night. Because they were like, if you go to grad night with that, you can't go. Mm-hmm. And I was that was just their own rule. That had nothing to do with I actually was the first one at Jackson at that point in time. But I had everything like really hidden on grad night in 12th grade.
Yeah, I went to grad night twice. We ain't gonna talk about that.
So, Officer Riley, let me ask you, how long is your training as a JSO officer? When you were a JSO officer, how long was your training?
7-8 months.
That's 7-8 months.
You know what? Somebody on Twitter said a barber go longer than a cop. I was like,
right.
Sheesh. I was like, that's tragic as hell.
So basically, boys, just to bring it around, we have to do whatever we can to not make the officers, the trained 8-long-month officers with the gun, feel threatened. I don't know how the hell.
They feel threatened. It's not
intimidated.
Yeah, they have to feel like, oh shoot, I can't talk to the kids like that.
You talk to them. They fine. No, talk. They're fine. Man, they're fine.
He was like,
just looking at you and your aura and your presence, how cool you are, and how fucking fly you are. It reminds them how easily you can fuck their wife.
Y'all heard me say dick envy earlier.
Right.
I said
it. Yeah, their penises are small. They got beat up in school, and they look at you. And everything you was so they want to. Now it's their turn to be the bully, and they taking it out on you, and you ain't done nothing to them, but remind them of who was cool in school. You know,
he lied.
I'm telling you, it's all mental. That's why they became cops. because they
Power.
were losers their whole life.
And now they have more freedom
and power.
Yeah.
I went to school with him. I don't know how he became a cop. He was cool.
He's a snitch now. Goddamn snitch. That's what he is. It's okay though, do your thing.
But also, it's also in the end of the day, I have a lot of. It's kind of funny. A lot of way older people than me, inmates and people. They're like, "How did you get this job?" They're like, "I wanted to be you." So it's all like I've been in fucking prison for 30 years, and I know more about law enforcement than you. Like, I should did what you did, but
you letting them school you in there?
I mean, it's sad all the way around. But again, everybody keep going back to what Mo said. It's racism is a big thing, but it's also it is taught from people from the 40s, 50s, and 60s and stuff like that because.
But they passing it down,
especially
with this Trump administration.
Right.
Oh,
the
God.
young people are getting into the racist stuff.
They
I
are.
was in Charlottesville, and there was a lot of young people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like I say,
because there was some hope. When Obama was here, we was like, look, one day all the racist people gonna die off, and we might be all right. At least a lot.
I think that's what everybody was saying.
That's what I think made them hate more. They was like, oh no.
Racist people. So now
They were already.
You got to worry about, what I'm
just
saying?
out in front.
Now Dylan Roof them
Right.
out here now. You know what I'm saying?
They was already racist. They just feel more like they can really be racist out now in front of the camera. Okay,
Obama
because
was
Trump.
our hope. We was like, yo, we could be the president. Now, racist Klans members and skinheads and Nazis are like, we could be president.
That's true. And they have been all these years.
They got a podcast, Slow Burn.
Yeah.
About oh boy, the
Which
leader of
one?
the Ku Klux Klan. What's his
Which
name? I forgot.
David Duke.
Oh, I didn't know they dropped that one.
No, it's coming out
Oh, okay.
next week. But yeah, they about to do a slow burn on him. I'm watching that like crazy.
Even
right.
the one with Denzel's son, I let any people.
Black Klansman.
Yeah, any people too.
Right.
I hang with. We watch that. I mean, it's funny, but it's cool. Like, and that's just.
I still can't believe that's Denzel's son though.
Yeah,
Every time I look, I be like,
Yeah, Dave. Because I only knew that because watching the Rock show. And
Ballers,
but,
yeah.
Like that movie is like, I didn't like. Oh my, like.
So let me kind of try to wrap this up a little bit, boys. Do you guys have any questions for the gentleman in the room? For me, you guys are good.
I apologize for the cussing.
Sorry.
I know it's alright because y'all hear it 10 times more than us, but
right.
but yeah,
Y'all are good.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I just hope that y'all taking everything that we're saying, and you know what I'm saying, and like really taking it in and understanding what's going on. Because y'all, I mean, I know it's what is it, figuratively or whatever. It's like, I mean, the Whitney Houston song or whatever, like that, the shit is like the damn truth. Like, y'all are the damn future, man, and it's cool that y'all are around people like this. That you got people like Hendrix, your mom, you know what I'm saying, other people.
This was
that
actually
really care about y'all.
your mom's idea.
Oh,
like
word?
this whole episode,
Talking about this whole thing?
this whole episode was actually her idea. We were talking one day, and she was like, "You should do because everything that's going on. You should do an episode. You talk to the boys, and Aaron and Jeremiah come because they're already asking about it and they're seeing the stuff." And I was like, "Bet, I'll absolutely do that."
And what schools y'all go to?
River City.
Okay.
Right. So, everybody, I do thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to drop where they can follow you, if you want them to follow you.
Man, mpn-llc.com. Just go there. I'm in the mix of all of that. I work hard. Find me.
I'm sorry. Officer Riley. You want them to follow you, or you say, nah, stay off your shit.
I said no. I'm just all good. I just work and try to do the best that I can. No, it says I understand what's going on out here. Same thing with Mo. Like I understand the protests. I understand the rioting. I understand everything that's going on, and also being a former JSO officer and now being a federal officer, I understand. So the points are here being made, and also outside looking in, the people that has the power, I don't have the power. The people that has the power is actually making changes. You know what I'm saying? With the mayor from DC, she did the Black Lives Matter on
The streets. So now
yeah, street in DC.
I mean,
The mayor here today with Leonard Fournette and my former boss, Mike Williams stuff. They did stuff with Leonard Fournette and Lil Duval today. A lot of stuff. We talked. They took some statues and stuff down today. So in Jasonville. So I mean, y'all points was made. So
I just wanted to keep going though.
I don't want it to stop with
thing.
just taking the statue down or painting the street saying Black Lives Matter
to,
Boulevard, whatever. I need it to go all the way up to the laws. We need to, because the justice system was never created for us. It was just us, as in just them, not us. So it's like you basically are going to have to rewrite pretty much everything. There needs to be some laws implemented, like about these body cams. They need to stay on it all the time. You take it off, that needs to be an automatic goddamn charge. You turn it off, you talking about it's a malfunction, all that. We don't want to hear that charge. What's going on?
And I know y'all going. Also, me going to a federal officer before coming to a JSO, the same thing. What you kind of saying, I kind of learned from going through their academy. The Constitution is not necessary, like you said, it's not necessary for the black people.
Right.
It was also, the Constitution was only really dealing with those 13 colonies going against the people from European. So that's the reason the Constitution is what it is. The Constitution is not necessarily thinking about everybody else. The Constitution is only really is dealing with what they was going through at that point in time in the small United States, those 13 colonies against Europe. So that's what the Constitution is actually wrote about. And I learned that going through the federal part of the law enforcement. So he was like the red, because if you go the details with the Constitution, the red coats and all that stuff, that's what the people from Europe were. They're like, that's why it's like it's unconstitutional to house them. That's why they say you can bear all the constitutional rights is constitutional rights that they had for the not necessarily European, but for the 13 colonies. So that's why what you just kind of said is not for the black. That was just really for them at that point in time. Right. I learned that once I got federal, because they said they wrote that Constitution because they was fighting against another white people in Europe trying to take over. So that's the reason for the Constitution of the United States of America.
Now, so sir, if you want to come in and let the people know who you are and how to follow you, if they want to follow.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm Moses West. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm from here, Jacksonville, Florida. ID's 21st in Phoenix, born and raised. I'm a writer for a living. That's what I do. Y'all can check me out. I got my first event coming up in a long time after the COVID situation. Everything opening up. I'm gonna be at Onyx on Father's Day, Sunday, the 21st, June 21st, and we're gonna be out there. We do this show. It's called, don't be scared of the name. It's called Sex on Stage. You know what I mean?
We're not really having sex on stage.
Yeah, there's no actual sex on stage. It's more like a metaphor. Like everything that happens on stage is kind of sexy. So we do sexy poetry, we do sexy music, we do sexy dance, we do body art, we do anything that's like an art or a talent, we make it sexy. So we call it Sex on Stage. That's the, but there's no actual sex on stage. It's not an orgy. It's not a. So y'all come check us out. We're gonna be at Onyx on the 21st, and y'all can follow me at Poetry Nigga. It's all one word. Poetry nigga, Nigga. Not ER, because that would be racist.
All right, you guys. Hold on. I am Hendrix Monae. You know that you can follow me on Twitter at Hendrix Monae. You can follow me on Instagram, Hendrix Monae. The Shit Talk page, you can follow it's SHT Talk No Fragrance on Instagram. On Twitter, it's a little different. It's SHITTLKNOFRG. Also, if you guys want these changes, you also have to get out there and vote. Another gentleman from one of the other podcasts on the MPN network, Mr. Vince Candor, he shot me some links. If you want to check out what's going on, you can go to rockthevote.com. You can go to the 21stman.com also and check out their information. Also to www.ballotready.org. If you want to see what's on the ballots in your city before you go out there, don't go out there voting blindly. Go to ballotready.org. And again, come to my page. Find these petitions, and sign them. It takes a couple of seconds to sign those ballots so that we can get these petition numbers up and get these cases reopened so that we can get some sort of justice for our black brothers and sisters that have lost their lives unjustly, and, you know, cops killing them and just going home on vacation and stuff like that. So, but anywho, that has been the show. This is the skin that I am in, the skin I'm in. Shit Talk No Fragrance, MPN-LLC.com. Look us up, and we're out.